there's two ways of looking at the world. The materialistic way, which says, I am this body. I am its size, its shape, its color, its bank account, its relationships, its followers on Facebook. I am all of those things. That's what I call the Hollywood way of thinking.
I do have some questions for you.
Whatever you've got.
Especially coming from the entertainment industry myself, a lot of people, they're trying to reach spirituality. They want to, right? But there are different avenues for it. At least that's what I think. I mean, there's a whole ritualistic aspect of it. There's a whole experiential aspect of it. How can, or any words of wisdom that you can give that other artists, musicians, actors, anybody in the entertainment industry could learn from or could kind of guide their way towards that? Because it's not easy. At least it wasn't easy for me, you know?
Well, first of all, realize that spirituality simply means of spirit. That's actually all the word means. It means pertaining to spirit. Now, there's two ways of looking at the world. The materialistic way, which says, I am this body. I am its size, its shape, its color, its bank account, its relationships, its followers on Facebook. I am all of those things. That's what I call the Hollywood way of thinking.
Okay, yeah.
Now, that way of thinking causes suffering. Because if I'm the body, well then there's someone who's a lot more beautiful than I am. There's someone who's a lot more successful than I am. There's someone who's a lot smarter than I am. There's someone who's a lot more popular than I am.
True.
Then all there is constant yearning for more, more, more. A constant sense of lack, a constant sense of comparison to others, and a constant sense of objectification. I am an object. I am this body, its weight, its height, its age, its color. That's how I self-identify. That's what you could call the materialistic way of thinking. It's what I call, as I said, the Hollywood way of thinking. When I talk about Hollywood to the Himalayas and that shift of mindset. So Hollywood way is this objectification way. I'm an object, therefore you are an object. You are your size, shape, color, race, religion, bank account, relationships, Facebook followers, etc. Which means that there's all this empty space between us. I'm over here, you're over there, Amira is here, there's space between you. The spiritual way, spirituality, what I call the Himalayan way, says, well, you know, when my memoir came out that describes my specific journey from Hollywood to the Himalayas, or what we say the Himalayas, it's not just about my particular journey, because a lot of people have different dharmas, people are on different life paths, but it's actually about how to make the mindset shift from the Hollywood way of thinking to the Himalayan way of thinking. But we'll come back to it in a moment. But in terms of the question of spirituality, so that Himalayan way of thinking is the spiritual way, which says you have a body, but you're not the body. You are the spirit. I have a body, but I'm not the body. I am spirit, which means there's actually no place you end and I begin. There's no empty space.
It's true.
We are one. And so for all of your friends, your community in entertainment business or in any business, to become spiritual doesn't mean I have to sit down and I have to do rituals or anything like that. It simply means a commitment to see the world through a spiritual perspective rather than just a materialist perspective, which means first, when you look at yourself, that instead of just seeing the form, oh my God, I'm too fat. Oh my God, I'm too skinny. Oh my God, my hair's not working. Oh my God, the pimple on my nose. Oh my God, the wrinkle. Oh my God, this.
I relate to that, yeah.
Rather than that, we look at ourselves in the mirror and you look in your eyes and you say, wow, hey, here we are in this particular body, in this form. Isn't that amazing? Look at that. This time around, here's the vehicle we've been given.
Yeah.
This body, it's just a vehicle. It's just a vehicle. I happen to be the, 1971 Californian model.
Yes, yes, yes.
But it's not who I am. It's just the vehicle that my soul is utilizing on this particular journey. It's like if you get in a car and you drive to Chennai.
Uh-huh.
Or you drive to Paris, right? On a long, long trip.
Mm-hmm.
Well, maybe along the way you're going to need to get a new car depending on which one you started out with. You may change vehicles.
Yeah.
But who you are doesn't change. And so to be spiritual simply means I recognize that I have a body. We're not denigrating the body. We're not defiling it. We're not ignoring it. Mm-hmm. But we're also just not identifying with it.
Mm-hmm.
And what that means then is that we also stop objectifying others. We start to see others as spirit.
No judgment.
No judgment. And in the same way that when I look in the mirror and I see in my own eyes, hey, wow, look at that. So this time around, here we are in this body. We can look in others' eyes and say, oh, wow, look. Here we are over there also.
Yeah.
And that's the way into spirituality. It's not about rituals. The rituals are just that remind us. Otherwise, we're so busy in our lives. And if you know, ki ye mera puja time, at least you're going to sit down, you're going to contemplate God for at least a few minutes. Hopefully, you're going to focus your energy on things of spirit rather than things of matter. But ultimately, the goal is to move through your whole life like that.
Yeah.
Whoever you meet, wherever you are, can you see spirit in them? Which means, of course, can you see yourself in them?
Wow.
And that's the spiritual perspective. And that is the end of suffering. Not only is that the path to what you would call spiritual awakening or God realization or self-realization, but it's also the path to end suffering. And that's where I came up with the Hollywood to the Himalayas title of not only my life physical arc, but this mindset shift from identifying as the body, what it had been through, the history, the stories, the dramas, to identifying as soul, spirit, consciousness that has a body, but isn't the body. And when you have that shift in identification, not only do you stop suffering, but you also stop causing suffering for others.
That's true. That's true. I had one more question.
Of course. I'm yours.
Oh, thank you. As you know, I also went to college. I did some education. I went to NYU. I went to the Tisch School of the Arts. I studied acting there for a while. Even we did meditation there too. They tried to derive a lot of the Hinduism traditions, Surya Namaskar,
Beautiful.
But it wasn't totally accurate. Not that I want to say anything bad about
anybody.
No, I get
it. I get it fully.
How can we get students to, and my idea is to somehow involve it in the curriculums, but how do you think we can somehow incorporate that spiritual awareness, or at least incorporate something that can lead these students to spiritual awareness through education?
Beautiful. you have to do it obviously in a way that's not religious, unless it's a class in spirituality and religion. American academic institutes are not going to bring religious teachings into their non-religious classes. Otherwise, you end up with people of other religions in uproars about, dogma and whatnot. But the Hindu tradition, the Sanatana Dharma tradition, is actually not a tradition of dogma at all. It's a tradition of Dharma. And it's a tradition in which the teachings and the truths and the principles and the practices are actually just as applicable and just as accessible and just as beneficial for people of every walk of life, of every religion, of every race, of every culture and color, because they don't make you Hindu. Doing yoga doesn't make you Hindu. Yeah. Reading the Bhagavad Gita and implementing it in your life doesn't make you Hindu. It's a teaching for everyone. Yes, it's a core Hindu teaching, but you don't have to convert to Hinduism in order to benefit from it.
It's a way of living life for everyone.
Exactly. Yeah. And so what I would love is if institutions were able to bring in more experiential classes. Yes, they obviously already have religious classes, comparative religion classes, Eastern religion classes, probably even Hinduism classes. Yeah. But that's going to be from an academic perspective.
Exactly, yeah, true.
That's not going to necessarily open your heart unless you've got a teacher who is just on fire with love for God.
Like you.
But if you could give people experiences, and honestly, this is something I think that's going to have to come from you all, the students, rather than from the school administration.
Okay.
I'm not yet sure that the highest echelons of Western academia are going to start bringing in official spiritual experience programs into their curriculum, as incredibly beneficial as it would be.
Yeah.
But that which you get offered in school and college and university is not only that which the official university offers. As students, as student groups, they can bring in anybody. You don't have to be an official class by the university. A student spiritual group can start any program they want. And this is what's important, is actually giving people spiritual experiences in a way that also connect them to people of other religions, so that it's not just, oh, you have to come to our Hindu spirituality.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Connect with friends of other religions, and every week somebody leads a meditation in their tradition.
Yeah, it builds a good sangha.
It builds a beautiful sangha, and it builds a sangha that's connected experientially rather than dogmatically. So we're not talking about a comparative religion program in a theological way, but you're talking about an experience of the fact that all of the different paths lead to one truth. And so maybe you have a friend who's a different religion, and one week that friend leads a beautiful meditation in their tradition.
Yeah.
And then you lead a meditation. And then somebody else leads a meditation, and somebody else chants a prayer. Somebody else reads mystical poetry. We've got mystics and lovers of God.
True.
In every tradition.
That's true.
So you bring in, whether it's Rumi, whether it's St. Francis of Assisi, you bring in these beautiful mystics of other religions as well, to give people, a multi-religious experience. And we offer them our beautiful teachings of Sanatana Dharma and the way in. Through Bhakti Yoga, through Karma Yoga, through Jnana Yoga.
Yeah.
But you have to work on ways for them to actually experience it. So that it's not about dogma, it's not about theology, but it's actually about spirituality. And maybe it includes activities of service.
Yeah.
Seeing the self in others. There's all sorts of beautiful ways to do it. I'm just not sure that it's going to yet happen from the official world of academia yet.
But one day, hopefully, right?
It will happen one day because one day they will realize it's the only way.
Yes.
Whether it's climate change, whether it's war and terrorism, whether it's drug addiction, whatever it is, our collective downfall, when we are disconnected from spirit, is going to lead people, I think, of every sector to realize, oh my God, we are at a very perilous place right now.
Yeah.
And eventually they will realize spirituality is the only answer.
So that shift in consciousness will happen for sure.
I have faith.
Me too now.
I have deep faith.